Goldman Sachs just fired 2,000 people, and the jobs they cut reveal exactly which careers AI is about to erase. Now, mass layoffs happen all the time in finance. But this one is different, because Goldman didn't just trim the fat or respond to a market downer. They fired those people specifically to automate their work. And when you look at which roles got hit hardest, you see a pattern that should matter to you, whether you work in finance or not. Let me walk you through what happened, what it actually means, and which jobs are genuinely at risk next. So in 2023, Goldman Sachs announced a massive restructuring. Over the course of a year, they eliminated roughly 2,000 roles. But here's the thing. They didn't fire 2,000 people and then shrink. They fired them and replaced them with AI systems and automation. The bank was explicit about this. Their executives said they wanted to modernize their workforce, which in corporate speak means do the same work with fewer humans. The roles that got hit first: equity research analysts, trading analysts, junior bankers, back office operations people. These weren't the fancy partner track roles at the top. These were the people doing the grunt work, the analysis, the number crunching, the routine decision making. And that's the pattern you need to pay attention to. AI doesn't replace CEOs. It doesn't replace people who make final calls on deals or strategy. What it replaces is the people who do the work that feeds into those decisions. The analysts who spend 8 hours a day building financial models. The researchers who summarize market data. The operations people who process transactions and check compliance. The junior bankers who pull all-nighters assembling pitch decks. These jobs are sitting ducks. Why? Because the work is repetitive, it's rule-based, and it's quantifiable. An AI can be trained on thousands of financial models and then generate a new one in seconds. It can scan earnings reports and extract key metrics faster than a human ever could. It can flag compliance issues and process transactions without coffee breaks or bathroom trips. Goldman's move is a test case. And here's what's terrifying. Every other major bank is watching. JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. They all have the same cost pressures and the same access to the same AI tools. If Goldman cuts 2,000 jobs and their revenue stays flat or grows, the pressure on competitors to do the same becomes irresistible. It's not about strategy anymore. It's about survival. But it goes way beyond banking. Think about any job that involves taking in data, running it through a process, and spitting out a conclusion. That's vulnerable. Accounting firms are already using AI to do tax prep and audit work that used to require armies of junior accountants. Legal firms are using it to review contracts and research case law. Insurance companies are automating claims assessment. Radiology, a field that seemed safe because it's highly specialized, is now being partially automated by AI that can read X-rays and MRIs. The pattern is always the same. The entry-level and junior roles go first. Why? Because those are the jobs that are most routine and most expensive relative to their output. A junior analyst costs 80 grand a year plus benefits. An AI system costs a fraction of that and never gets tired. So the math is ruthless. Now, here's what people get wrong when they talk about AI and jobs. They say AI will create new jobs. And that's probably true. But it's not true for the people who lose the old ones. A 50-year-old equity research analyst who gets laid off isn't going to retrain as a prompt engineer. The timeline doesn't work. The career path doesn't exist yet. The wage probably won't match. So what should you actually do if you're in one of these vulnerable roles? First, be honest with yourself about what your job actually is. If you spend most of your time on tasks that are repetitive, data-driven, and don't require judgment calls or human relationships, you're in the red zone. That includes a lot of junior positions in finance, accounting, law, insurance, and even some parts of software engineering. Second, start building skills that are harder to automate. That means communication, judgment, creativity, and the ability to work with people. It means understanding the business context, not just the technical execution. A junior banker who can think strategically and build client relationships is much harder to replace than one who just builds models. Third, start thinking about your next move now, not when the layoff notices go out. The people who survive transitions like this are the ones who see it coming and adapt proactively, not reactively. And fourth, keep in mind that this isn't just about individual career strategy. It's a structural shift. Over the next 5 to 10 years, a lot of entry-level roles are going to compress or disappear. That means fewer opportunities for young people to get their foot in the door. That's a real problem, and it's worth paying attention to at a policy level, not just a personal level. The Goldman Sachs layoffs aren't a one-off. They're a preview. And the jobs that disappear first are the ones that look the most like work, repetitive, rule-based, quantifiable. If your job fits that description, you already know what you need to do. Now, if you want to understand which industries are next and what actually happens to the economy when this scales up, subscribe. I break down this stuff every few days, and it's the only way to actually stay ahead of the hype and see what's really coming.